Hey parents, it's Robbin McManne here. I am a parenting expert, and I can tell you, I have been through many spring breaks that are more stressful than they are a break. When our kids are home, it means that we often don't get to relax and enjoy the time that they have off or the time that we have off. So I'm going to share with you some strategies to make spring break more fun so that you have less headaches. So you can actually have a fun time together with your family. While you're here, please take a second to like this video, subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me, but it also means that you get real, tangible, easy to implement tools for your parenting. And I share a video every single week. And I can tell you that if you have a child that's strong-willed or difficult to parent, you will love the strategies that I share because that is what my expertise is in. I have one son that is very, very difficult to parent, so I know what I'm talking about, and I've been on this journey for a long time. So if you are here, you're in the right place. All right, let's talk about spring break. What I want you to know is I did a live presentation of my spring break survival guide in my Facebook group and on my Facebook page. I've put the link in the description below. So if you want to have a little bit more detail on the subjects that I'm talking about in this video, please go there and you will see me go page by page through my guide to help you to really navigate spring break like a boss. Here in this video, I'm going to take you through just some high level thoughts and ideas for how you can make this a really great time together with your kids. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is letting go of how you think it should look. Whether you're going on a day trip or you've planned a vacation, I want you to take a second and just let go of the expectations that you have and the way that you think it's all going to unfold, the way it's all going to look. Because when we do, it means that we have unspoken expectations. And that often leads to you feeling disappointed, you feeling taken advantage of, and maybe you have some thoughts about your kids, like they're ungrateful, or I've wasted money on you, or you guys don't appreciate all that I do for you, all of those things. And I know you know what I mean. We've all had those thoughts. And if you can go into your plans, just knowing that you planned this with your whole heart, that your intention is to have fun, then it allows you to let go of those expectations and just be in the moment and embrace what is. I have had my vacations and day trips and adventures derailed because I expected them to go a certain way and they didn't. And then I had all my feelings about it. And if we can lessen those expectations and just meet our kids where they are and address what's going on with them when it's going on with them, you are much more likely to move through those ups and downs with much more ease. With that said, I have 6 tips that I really want to share with you on how you can really stay more calm, more confident, and more connected with your kids. The first one is keeping bedtime the same as much as you can. There's going to be variations in your bedtimes for your kids, but spring is here. We have sprung forward with our clocks, most of us, and that means that things are lighter, longer, and our days are starting to get longer. So make sure that your kids stay with the same bedtime as much as possible because it's just going to be harder for you later on to get them back on their schedule when school's back open. And also keep their rooms dark and cool, and maybe add some white noise so that they are set up for a really good deep sleep. Hopefully we're tuckering them out during the day, and that means they are ready for sleep. Next, I want to invite you to plan for the unexpected, which means that you have some things ready to go at a moment's notice for anything. That means that maybe in your car, you have a bin with snacks. You've got some towels, a change of clothes for your kids so that you can maybe go to a park that you've never been to, go to a beach you haven't been to, go and have some adventures and not worrying about your kids getting dirty or hungry or any of that stuff. Our kids want us to lighten up, and it can be so much fun when you can just drop everything and say, you know what? Let's go here today. Let's do this. How about that, you guys? And having snacks is always a key. Having some outdoor toys is always really helpful too. So plan for the unexpected. The other thing is to actually have a plan. Yes, I want you to plan for the unexpected, but there is a saying that I have embraced all of my life for as long as I can remember, that when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So have a plan. I know for myself that when my kids don't have a purpose, that things go off the rails. So have a plan. And in my guide, I actually have a whole day plan that you can see right here on how you can organize your morning, your afternoon, and your evening. There's also a section here for how you can brainstorm some activities that you might want to do with your kids. And we start every day with an intention. What is your intention today? How do you want to show up? What is important to you? Do you want to just have fun? Do you want to be more present? Do you want to not sweat the small stuff? This is an opportunity for you to set every single day up, right? And I also encourage you to get a calendar or even just print out the 2 weeks that are spring break and write down what you're doing every day so your kids know, so they can plan, so they can prepare as well. It gives them a chance to ask questions, to see maybe there's something they really like, maybe something they don't like. All you're doing is showing your kids what's going on so they know what to expect as well. And oftentimes we go through our days not really letting our kids in on what it is that we're doing. So this really helps them to stay relaxed and calm. And our kids need to know what's happening. So this will also stop them from nagging you, bugging you, making sure that they're not mumming you all the time. Like, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? What are we doing next? What are we going to do tomorrow? What are we going to do the next day? What are we doing the weekend? When are we going to see you get it, right? You get it. This just calms everybody down and allows you to come from a place of confidence to say, yeah, I know you really want to see Auntie so-and-so and your cousins. We're going to go on Wednesday. Next is to make fun a priority. Yes, fun. Let's do whatever we can do to make sure that we have got fun planned, that we are not letting a fun experience go by. Or even if we have a dull experience, how can we laugh about it? How can we do something fun? And I've got some ideas for when you wait in lineups that is a part of my guide. Actually, you can use anytime. You know, when we plan things, sometimes things are a dud. Most of the time things are pretty fun, but if they are a dud, which I never try to plan things that aren't fun, but inevitably things happen. Things don't go our way, and maybe something that I've planned isn't great. So we need to pivot. We need to say, okay, you guys, we can roll with this. Let's see what we can do to make the most of this. And don't forget that there's simple things that you can do too, like having a picnic in your living room, picnic in your backyard. You can set up tents and have sleepovers in your kids' rooms. You can do lots of different things, building a fort, having fun snacks, doing things that you've never done before that are at your home as well, that are inexpensive. One of the things that I love is an account on Instagram called Keep Kids Busy. I include their link in my guide as well. And they just have really fun, inexpensive, almost craft-based activities that will keep your kids busy, and you're going to love them. Don't forget to ask your kids what they want. What is going on with them? What would they like to accomplish over spring break? And what I have is a spring break bucket list. So you can ask your kids and sit down with your kids to find out what they want. I think this is a really great opportunity to sit down and have a family meeting. And that way you can just explain to your kids what your plans are and get their feedback. See what they're thinking. Do they like that idea? And if not, it gives them a chance to release some feelings about what it is you're going to do so that when you go to do it, you're not faced with a bunch of pushback. The best thing about doing that is that you're honoring what your kids are asking you to do, and you're also incorporating that. It feels good when we listen to our kids. Our kids feel important, that our words, that our thoughts, and their ideas matter to us, and that we go along with what it is that they're suggesting. That feels really good. And it just makes them feel important, and that builds connection with your kiddos. So make sure that you take time to listen to them, and also know that there might be a time where you have to say no. That's okay. Maybe your child wants to go on a huge trip to Disneyland and that's just not in the budget and not in the plans. Yeah. And so what you want to do is you want to validate for them that, yeah, I understand that it's really disappointing that our plans don't include Disneyland. Yeah, I get it. It's hard, isn't it? It doesn't feel fair that we can't go to Disneyland because your friends are going, because you've never been and you know it's going to be so much fun. And because you really, really wanted to go on that brand new ride. It's really hard when you can't do what you want, isn't it? Yeah, I know. And that's it. You are just validating their feelings and giving them a few reasons why they feel that way so they know you get them. And that's really what they need is that is for them to know that you understand. You really get it. And that's all they need. Sometimes they don't think that we've really heard them. So a meltdown can last a lot longer, or a frustration can last a lot longer because we don't share with them that we've really heard them. We really get them. We really understand. And that's why validating their feelings and giving them those reasons why really helps to just calm them down. It really feels like we get them. And that feels good. That feels like love. It is love. So the next thing is screen time. It's definitely going to be a part of your spring break. You know it, I know it, and my kids right now are playing their screens while I record this video. And look, I want you to know that screen time is not a crime, but I want you to know that it can be managed as well. I have this resource for you to help you to get your kids doing things before they get their screens. So this is a before screen time checklist. And I've given you 4 lines here. So you can have a chore that they need to do. You can have a school item that they need to do. And then maybe something that is active. And then maybe something that is to do with your values, maybe like help out a friend or see if mom and dad need help. So it can be like make your bed and brush your teeth. That is the first thing you have to do. Then it's read a chapter in your novel. Then it's go outside and shoot some hoops. And then it's check in to see if mom needs your help with anything. And then, and only then, can you go and do your screen time. And when it comes to disconnecting, I want to give you just a really quick way to get your kids off of their devices. This will really help you now and forever. And that is that when our kids are connected to their devices, they are really in their own world. They are in their own world of imagination and really caught up. And so we often want to go and say, okay, get off your device. Okay, it's time to end it. Okay, shut that down. I've even gone and pulled the Xbox out of the wall, grabbed the device because I was so frustrated, and that never works. It turns screen time into scream time. And I know none of you want that. I certainly don't want that. And I know you don't either. So what we want to do is not request yet, not even talk to our kids yet until we go to them. We go and sit with them for a moment. Then we want to just observe what it is that they're doing. Give them a little lovey while you're there too, like rub them on the back or just sit with them and notice what they're doing. And then you want to ask some questions like, hey, which character are you? Or what's the object of the game? Or what's happening in the show? And once they start answering you, the spell is broken and they're back in the here and now. And then that's when you can say, okay, babe, we got to turn this off now because it's time to go for dinner. And then you want to stay with them and give them any help they need. Now, a couple of things that are going to come up. One is your child is going to say no. Okay, I get it. How come you're saying no? How come? And what I've learned over the many years that I've been parenting is that when it comes to screens and what our kids are doing on them, sometimes they need a minute to end the game. And I think it's only fair that we respect that. Sometimes there's other kids that they're playing with, and we don't want to mess everybody up. So ask them how long they need before they disconnect. Like, how much longer is this video? Or how long do you think the game is going to be? Okay, well, in that moment, you can decide, can I be flexible or do we need to go right now? Hopefully you've given them enough time and a bit of a buffer so you can allow them to finish that game or finish their show. And if not, then, you do have to say, I know we've got to go right now. And I know it doesn't feel fair because you're right in the middle of your show and because you really want to see what happens. And then you can say, okay, well, let's work it out. Why don't we make sure that we finish that show tonight? I'll give you some extra time tonight. Just having that end to screen time, it really means that the dopamine that is happening in our kids' brains crashes down suddenly and they feel like a physical pain. It's like a jolt, like when the lights are turned out or the power goes out and everybody goes, oh, that's what our kids are feeling when it's ripped away from them. And that's why they have such big reactions. So let's be a little bit flexible. The other thing is that when it comes to screen time, you don't want to give them so much more than you normally would because when school's back in, you don't want to create like a precedent for them to have so much more. So mind the screen time, really my best piece of advice for that so that they just don't go wild. I understand that it may be a bit more, but just keep that in mind so that you don't have to fight that battle on the back end when our kids are going back to school. So just to review, I want to show you on the screen, here is your daily plan that's in the guide. I also know that when you're home with your kids, things are going to come up and you might be facing some behaviors that you don't like. And so on this page, I have a bunch of resources for some of my videos that will help you. And they'll help you with things like how to get out the door on time, how to get your kids to listen, how to handle whining, how to encourage independent play, discipline without punishment, also how to say yes and no and really mean it, and sibling rivalry solutions. On this page, there's also some quiet time suggestions. Now, these are YouTube channels. One of my clients that is with me in my private group, she suggested these sites, and she's actually a teacher. So these sites encourage reading and literacy. So that's why I've included them here. And it's a really nice way to have some quiet time for your kids. And you'll see that Keep Kids Busy is on this page as well. Here's your spring break bucket list for you to talk with your kids about what they want to do and make sure that you incorporate some of those into your daily plan. Here's the before screen time list for you to fill out for your kids so they know what to do before they're allowed to go on screens and for how long. And here are Boredom Busters for lineups. Now, if you're on spring break, there are going to be lineups. And this is a way for you to just have some fun and do some silly things while you're waiting in line. I have one son that just cannot handle waiting in line. And there's a lot of complaining. Then there gets to be some aggressive behavior. And so this will help to stop it from happening. But if it does happen anyway for you, a couple of things that you can do just to sort of have in your back pocket is to take your child for a walk or do something physical, like do some jumping jacks or bounce up and down or frog jump or do something like that. That will help to get them out of that mindset, that brain, the part of the brain that they're in. Or you can give them something to eat, something that's crunchy or chewy as well. That really helps. Drinking through a straw, so a juice box, will also really help. And that just helps them to organize their brain and to sort of snap out of where they're stuck in. So use this list. And I recommend you just take a screenshot, have this on your phone so that you can pull this up at any time and have some ideas right on the spot. I want to encourage you that if you do encounter some frustrations or even more issues than what I was able to cover off here, that you take a minute and book a call with me. I have free calls where I talk to parents just like you who are struggling in their parenting. And of course, you struggle in your parenting because how can we possibly know all the things that there are to know about raising kids in today's day and age? This is a completely different time that we are growing our kids up in. Our kids are digital nomads. We have kids on social media. And there's just more things that we are dealing with. Our parents didn't have to go through a pandemic and raise us through one, and we're still hurting from that. And there's a lot of behavior and mental health stuff that's going on with our kids. And I can help you through all of that. I have faced many of these things in my own family and have worked through them. I also can help you with those difficult kids that may have extra needs, that are strong willed, defiant, that really have explosive, intense behaviors. And wouldn't it feel good to be able to enjoy your kids more? It isn't a sign of weakness to ask for help and support. It actually is a sign of courage and strength. And you don't have to do this alone. So please take a moment, find a place in my calendar, book a free call with me, and I'll talk to you about what's going on in your family and how I can help support you. I promise you, in a couple of months, even weeks from now, you are going to be so happy that you did. And there's so many people that I've talked to a year ago that wish they had joined my program now and worked with me now because they have spent a whole year dealing with the same stuff, the same arguments, the same power struggles, attitude, and behavior that they don't like. So, what are you waiting for? Let's do it now together. The link is in every single one of my videos to book a call with me. And I would just be so honored if you did. All right. Thanks very much for watching. The link to all of these pages that I showed you is below. And I just want to thank you for being here. And thank you for being the kind of parent that really cares enough to want to connect with your kids, but also to be a calm, confident, and connected parent. Thanks so much. Bye for now.